Hello, and welcome to my spider web. Today I want to talk about one of the most shameful aspects of human history, the transatlantic slave trade. The oldest records I could find of this date back to 1525, and they stopped during 1866. It is estimated that around 12.5 million Africans were kidnapped from their homes and sent to endure a horrific life. Another estimate says that one in five Africans died on the ships before reaching the lands where they would be owned as slaves due to the terrible condition of these ships. Slave ships varied in size from those that could carry a crew plus 30 captive Africans to those that carried a crew of 100 people and could carry a cargo of up to 700 slave people. Before setting sail, they would strip the captured men and women naked and shave their heads. The enslaved people were kept on the lower deck separated by gender. Generally, the men were chained in pairs and the women were confined below. It is known that ships were in the most hygienic places in general, but slave ships were especially terrible. With so many people confined in a place with little airflow and no way of cleaning themselves, living among their own urine, vomit, and feces, many Africans tended to suffer from diseases such as dysentery, smallpox, malaria, and yellow fever, and sexually transmitted diseases due to the sexual exploitation they were subjected to. Many of the women arrived in America pregnant due to these abuses. They were all given an hour on deck to exercise and were hosed down in an attempt to sanitize. If they were lucky, they'd get 2 meals a day and a liter of water. A lot of them tried to end their lives by jumping overboard or starving themselves. The latter were fed with the help of a speculum oris, a scissor-shaped instrument with the help of thumbscrew that forced the jaws open. Officers often treated hunger strikers with special ruthlessness because such acts of resistance were prone to spread. A common use of torture was the use of thumbscrews and the cat of nine tails, a multi-tailed whip designed to cause the maximum amount of pain. An extreme example of brutality occurred aboard the slave ship Song in 1781. Over several days, the crew at the urging of the captain bound and threw overboard 122 living Africans. This was done apparently because the captain feared an outbreak of disease and the ship's owners were liable for all disease-related deaths. The ship's insurance company, however, would cover natural deaths from punishment, insurrection, or in this instance, being thrown alive into the sea. Enslaved captives revolted regardless. Occasionally, slaves were able to survive the weaponry raid against them and take control of the ship, as they did aboard the Clare in 1729. In other instances, an insurrection resulted in the deaths of nearly everyone aboard, captives and crew, such as what happened on the ghost ship discovered in the Atlantic in 1785. Unfortunately for them, the end of their journey on the ship was not the end of their suffering. As soon as they got to land, they were cleaned and sold to continue with a life of suffering at the hands of slave owners. There's no doubt that this was a particularly cruel time in American history. Thanks for watching my first video. If you'd like to know more about this topic, I'll leave some links in the description.